try this then. Testing.
Testing.
What are you doing?
I have a stiff ass curl. Okay.
It's crunchy today?
It's crunchy.
Okay.
It's giving crunch.
So crunch a lot?
Yes, it is.
Okay. 3.
I still don't understand the purpose of doing that.
It's a audio spike. You'll see it when you start editing.
Okay. Well, welcome back.
Hi.
My name's Brittany. This is my wife, Bridget. We're
Yes.
neither funny nor original. And this week, we're going to be talking
a lot.
Living in a simulation Truman show and missing my chance to touch Jodie Comer's hand. But before we get into that...
Okay, continue.
I know. I've been saving this for you.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We like to start with a word from today's sponsor. Just kidding.
Us.
Yes, we sponsor.
I know.
We sponsor ourselves. We do word of the day because we want to be smarter. And we thought I thought it was my word of the day today. So I have one. Bridge has one.
I thought it was my word because it's my topic.
Yes, but I mixed it up because she did one last week. So you want me to go first?
You go first, please.
Okay. My word is, I don't know if I'm gonna say this right. De rigueur. But the way the person says it
De rigueur?
Yeah, it's like de rigueur. Like it's like
on
the thing, like, how do you say this? It's like de rigueur. I was like, but like, how would I say it though?
De rigueur?
Yeah, like when people say tortilla, but they wanna, can I get like a tortilla, like they have an accent to it.
Oh, when it's like no accent whatsoever and then tortilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did last week. Thank you.
When?
I forgot what we were talking about.
On this? Sorry. Just calling you out like that.
Typical.
So it's an adjective. You know the word?
I've heard it.
Okay.
I don't know it. I don't know her.
It's a formal adjective that describes things that are necessary if you want to be fashionable, popular, socially acceptable, etc. So in other words, things required by fashion, etiquette, or custom. Okay?
Okay.
Examples in a sentence. It is always de rigueur to start with a compliment. So like that's the etiquette part of it. It may be costly and it may not be de rigueur to wear a helmet, but everyone should wear one on a bicycle.
Sure.
A personal one is barrel jeans are de rigueur among most people our age. However, on me, it's giving the worst decision ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Backstory to her whole reason for barrel jeans. We went into Madewell to try on different clothes, like on jeans, 2 different times. And I was very open to like whatever style. Let me see what you've got for me. Tried them on and I said, I look like a person with bow legs. No, thank you. And then
no offense if you have bow legs.
Well, yeah, no offense. I don't know how it would be offensive, but like, I'm not dissing you because you have bow legs. I'm just saying I look like I have bow legs and I don't. So why would I want to look like
And
it?
just so you know, Bridge went twice in the day. So what happened? Why she went first is she went while I was getting a haircut.
Ding.
And then she's like, oh, I think it's actually more your style. So we'll go back with you. So that's why we went 2 different times within the same day.
Yeah. So then Britt was like, I was like, oh, let me grab the barrel jeans for you. And she was like, barrel jeans? I hardly know her. No, I'm just kidding.
I think, but I was like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah. She's like, I don't understand. What is that? And I said, remember Papa's legs? Because he had bow legs.
And he also wore jeans that were kind of...
I think that was just his legs because the jeans were not shaped like that.
No, but I think his jeans were... Why Nana hated them. They had too much slack. So it drew attention even more so to his legs because he didn't want form-fitting pants.
Oh, because his legs.
It was I don't know, it was like baggy looking.
Interesting. So anyway, she said, no, thank you.
Yeah, I looked at them. I said, I don't know about that. And
it looks like you're walking in parentheses.
It must look good for some people.
I think so.
I've yet to see that though.
I mean, either.
Maybe like skinny people? I just don't know why you want like 2 legs and 1 leg hole slot. I don't know. I have to see.
What, Madewell, I don't know what you're doing, what you're thinking right now, but the fact that like my waist could fit into a leg is not okay.
Oh yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't like any of the jeans there.
Sorry.
That was my word of the day.
Okay.
What is your word of the day?
My word of the day is a little more on topic.
I love that for you.
Yes. Existentialism.
My shoulder just popped.
Was that your shoulder? I heard it and I was like...
This is it's getting too real for me.
Yes.
Getting old.
So existentialism, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is a philosophical theory or approach which emphasizes the existence of the individual person as a free and responsible agent determining their own development through acts of the will. And I'm pretty sure for you guys it was exactly like how Brittany heard, which is wah 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 wah. So I liked the definition from the Ethics Center, which is like a thing, I guess, where they post like ethics and stuff online.
Where do I apply?
Ethics.org.
Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah. Okay. So it's existentialism is the philosophical belief we are each responsible for creating purpose or meaning in our own lives. Our individual purpose and meaning is not given to us by gods, government, teachers, or other authorities. Yes. Okay. It's heavy.
Okay.
And that's what I face nightly when I can't fall asleep.
Wait, what was your word of the day?
Existentialism.
Okay, yes. That is that's I face that all the damn time. All day long.
It ties into today's topic because
so when people say, I'm sorry to cut you off, an existential crisis, we are having a moment of a personal chaos moment of that aspect of it because I think I know existentialism as in an existential crisis.
Okay. So yeah, it is like a whole separate theory, right? Okay. Or like
I didn't really take apart the theory like that. It was always just been like, I'm having an existential crisis.
Yeah. So existential crisis is a period of deep questioning and reflection about the fundamental nature of one's life, purpose,
that's me mostly,
and existence, often triggered by significant life events or transitions.
For sure, yes.
And can lead to feelings of anxiety, despair,
all the time,
or confusion.
Oh yes, sign me up for that.
Yeah, 100%. So that is what is going on in my head if I'm like this.
When you're brushing your teeth?
When I'm brushing my teeth. Yeah. I zone out a lot, but that's often what I look like.
It really is.
Those memes where it's like, what I think I look like while riding the bus. And you're like,
yes.
But it's actually.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen a moment where it is sexy for you to zone out.
I'm not sexy zoning out.
Oh no, you are most definitely sexy, but zoning out, I think we look a certain way.
Yeah, but
because I know for me, I'm like,
yeah, most of the time when we're zoning out, we are looking like we are having an existential crisis.
It probably is that way. Or did I add everything to the cart?
On Costco
or on Amazon or on DoorDash, whatever it is. Did I add that thing to the cart?
Did I use the right card?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Did I forget something? Yeah. That is often what I think I look like while like daydreaming. I don't know if that actually looks different compared to, oh my God, what is going on in life?
Oh, daydreaming for sure. I know that it's on a whole different world. I wish my work camera, my laptop,
just like recorded you.
Just like because I'm like zoning out all the time. Just imagining my life somewhere else.
Not all the time.
I mean, it's somewhere else with you, but maybe just not having that job. To be more specific.
That was a whole lot of.
It was.
Which is very apt for this episode because I was like, when I was like looking into things, I was like, hey, Truman Show, blah, 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 blah. It was like, oh, I don't know. This is going to be very much a choose your own adventure episode because I have like a ton of things. But basically what had happened was I often feel like somebody's watching me, but also life is not real. And it's often like, it feels like it's The Sims and like, oh, someone is controlling these things. And so I was telling Brittany about this one day and I was like, this is really dumb. And it's probably just me disassociating from life. But like, I feel like, well, you see like a lot of like intense car crashes on what is it?
Social media?
Social media. It's like reels, like dash cam footage and like all these things, right? And that's, I don't know why my algorithm shows me that, but it does. And
this is a dark lady.
Yeah. Literally and figuratively. But I was literally like, I don't know if this is actually real. Like, is this all like AI generated, or is it like, are people actually, and I know, okay guys, I know if you've like, these things are real life. Things are happening in real life. It just, because sometimes when it doesn't like really touch me, sometimes it feels like, is this real? I told her this and we swiftly got into a car accident. And I said, okay, whoever is in control of my simulation needs to chill out, because I believe it now. It's okay.
She told me this a few days before we got...
it was just rear-ended. It was not a major accident.
It was not a major accident. We were rear-ended. And it's not just... We're just rear-ended. We were rear-ended by someone who actually hit us and then fled the scene.
Yeah.
So...
It's like a whole thing where it's like, wait, it like forced me to check back into reality and not just like life is a social construct.
So when you say that you feel like people are either watching you or this is a simulation, do you mean a peeping Tom watching, or do you mean Big Brother watching?
Like Big Brother watching.
Interesting. Okay.
If it was peeping, I have felt like peeping Tom watching before. I would be like deathly afraid, because like growing up I would have my bed kind of all over the place, but oftentimes it would end up by the window, especially in summertime because it was hot. So I would sleep with the like blinds a little bit cracked, and I would be like deathly afraid that if I were to look out the window, someone would be staring back at me.
Interesting.
I don't know what that is or if that's common, but it is that. And I think it can be all tied back to growing up in the church. I think that's where it started.
Okay, we can't, I know
Listen,
we want to, but we can't always blame the church.
It's not a diss. This is where I think it actually started.
Studies show that 100% of our problems can be traced back to church.
Or your parents. Often one and the same.
Yes.
But here's why I think so. Growing up, I was taught from an early age that predestination was a thing, but it's not what God actually does. And does the church know what predestination is?
Explain for those who maybe did not grow up in the church.
So predestination means that God had already planned out everything. Your entire life, or just like existence in general, was planned out from start to finish. He knew who was going to become Christian. He knew who was going to come to heaven, who was going to go to hell. Everything was set in place, and there's nothing that you can do that would change that.
Is that more of a Calvinist theory?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
It's Mama a little rusty on this theological.
I heard Mama Lisa.
I was saying, I don't know what I was saying. I was saying I'm a little rusty, but I definitely. Okay. But essentially, I was taught in non-denominational Christianity, whatever you want to call it, that's not real. God gives you free will, so you can, choose what you do in life. However, I got very mixed messages about it. Like, they would tell me, oh, God gave you free will. You can choose to believe in him or not believe in him. But then like, it always felt like, but God already knows if you're going to fail. So I think that's where like that came from. That's
an interesting, it is in Calvinism, it's a doctrine that God has eternally decreed who will be saved.
Yeah.
By elected. I think it's almost similar though to Jehovah's Witness. They have a similar thing.
They have like a set number. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of whatever their quota is. I forget how many thousands of people are going into eternity into paradise.
But they just
they already met that. No, they've already met that.
So then they already met it.
Yeah, I forget the whole thing, but
they reached their goal.
But pretty much there's an overflow room, but it's here on Earth. If I recall correctly.
So the ones that are like chosen,
because they would have already met that, because it's already been so many
years of existence.
So it's not possible. I mean, the VIP is, you've seen when you get a concert ticket, there's only so many seats that are available. So there is an overflow. So if you want to do
attending the concert is still chosen, but overflow.
It's the parking lot. When you go barbecue.
Tailgating?
It's because you didn't. Yes, that one. Yeah. So I think that there's some Jehovah's Witness people that are tailgating. Like that's what's left if you are in the
interesting.
Church.
Okay.
Well, Kingdom Hall.
That's interesting. Yeah. But I think that's where kind of like I think I was born into existentialism.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
I think that is. I wonder if that is kind of where it is for me too, of what, because especially when it's all these different religions that have influenced my life, and all of them are, you either go to church and you act right or you go to hell. and suffer for eternity.
Yeah.
And also how much of it is, I guess, too, because I guess maybe I would think it'd be easier if I wasn't gay, but it feels a little bit, I didn't have a choice. So I was gay, or I am gay. So I have to not be gay for me to then be elected to go.
Yeah. And like, that's no matter what religion you're looking at. If your sexuality is considered a sin, which it is in most.
But I think it's deeper for me, because if I have a tendency to be addicted to pornography, I could still be a godly woman and kind of deal with that. Just struggle. It's just a struggle for me. But I'm praying about it, and God's working in me. If I am choosing to be in a gay lifestyle and then I married you, I don't have that. I cannot change that. Like, I cannot change this part of me.
Yeah.
Other people could, maybe I lie a bit. Maybe I like to gossip. Maybe I look at things online that I shouldn't be or should be, however you view that.
Yeah.
All these different things that you can kind of either like maybe keep it hidden or just work one-on-one with people in the church.
Yeah.
Get prayer for it. But I would have to really change something in me in order for me to at least be in the line for heaven.
Yeah. See, which then kind of like messes with my whole way of thinking, because it's like, okay, so if predestination did exist, then you would have already known that you were gay.
Right. But it seems like then I'm disqualified.
Exactly. Like, you're disqualified before the game even started.
I don't even get to play in it.
Do we want to play though?
I don't know, but no one asked me.
The choice was taken from you.
Yes. Versus other things that I think are even, just, I don't know. I guess it even gets deeper, and I don't know how deep we want to get here. Not that deep. Okay. But
great podcast.
But there's certain things in the Bible that are sins that I think are quote unquote sinful because it could hurt you or someone else. My sexuality being with you, being gay and being married to you, I'm not hurting anyone.
Yeah.
And I'm not hurting myself.
How are you hurting the greater good?
So it's even more so where it feels a little bit like the sexual identity and why is that even in this whole thing, you know? And because I can't change that, then I'm always going to be, I'm always not going to have the opportunity to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's one of my last things on here is like the whole rabbit hole of everything. Like, don't fall too far down it, because like for your mental safety.
I am way down there.
See, but there's always further, and you gotta say enough. But
that's you telling me at 2 o'clock in the morning. Enough.
But it's this. So this has been my whole life of feeling this way of like, do I really have a choice? Is this all just fake? It's messed with my brain a lot with predestination. And then things come up like the Mandela effect, which is half of us remember one thing a certain way, another half remember a different thing a different way. And then you have this whole idea of like Marvel's multiverse, which is like, did we drop into a different timeline? What's going on here? Like, that whole thing messes with my brain. And then it goes into like, but wait, are we just being targeted by the government to try to gaslight us into believing something is different when it wasn't?
That is my theory. That's what I think about. Also, side note. Yes. And I'm sorry if this is offensive, but when you hear the Mandela effect, do you picture a black man every time that someone says that to you?
Nelson Mandela.
But is it based off of that? Okay, good.
Because like a large part of our society believed that he had died in like the 90s in prison, which is what I believed.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Homie's alive.
Mandela's alive. No, he died in 2013.
Okay, but no, I grew up believing he died in like when I was little.
Okay, so the Mandela effect is named after him?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I keep thinking of a black man, and I think, is that something I should bring up in therapy? Okay, so that is interesting. Yeah. I wonder if. Okay, do you feel this way? I'm just curious. Yeah. Does this have anything to do with you being married to a woman?
No.
Or have you always felt?
I've always felt this.
That you don't have a choice.
Yeah. I've always struggled with it in different times of my life.
Is that what was taught to you in your church? Do they believe that predestination?
No, they are opposite of predestination. However, I feel like I always felt like, what if he actually does know?
Who?
God. What if he was like, okay, but this person's going to come in, but this person's not. And then I just think, well, what's the point of it all? So
that's interesting.
That is my childhood. And I've known of the movie The Truman Show.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
We have not watched it. I hadn't watched it until maybe about a month ago.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what The Truman Show is, it's with Jim Carrey. It's a movie about Truman. I'm going to read some stuff, okay? Because brevity, I will yip and yap all over the place for a very long time. So The Truman Show is a movie about Truman Burbank, a man who unknowingly lives his entire life in a massive fake world created for a TV show. Every person in his life, including his family and friends, is an actor, and everything around him is staged for the entertainment of viewers. Truman starts to notice strange things happening and begins to question the reality of his world. Eventually, he discovers the truth and decides to escape the fabricated life, seeking freedom outside the artificial world he's always known. The film explores themes of reality, free will, and the manipulation of media. Mm-hmm. That is exactly what I have been dealing with. Yeah. Where it feels like, is there just, what am I doing? Is this life sometimes? And I know that you struggle with it, which is why I never let myself continue to go down it. Because I said, if we're both sinking, we're done.
Yeah.
I have to say, okay, no, there is a purpose. It's not all predestined. And I can make choices and then change those choices as I go.
Okay. I don't think I get hung up on predestination. Mm. So I'm curious where, like, when you think about predestination, are you thinking about in terms of heaven and hell, or what is
everything?
Everything,
life, from start to finish to ever after.
Okay, I think I get hung up on: is there actually an eternity?
An afterlife?
Yeah.
Okay.
And will I see you again?
So that is also going to come into play into my way of thinking, because I realized, I think when we got together, probably when we started questioning, like, well, what's going to happen to us in the afterlife? Mm-hmm. That's, I think, when I had like my first big break, where I'm like, if I don't make the rules for myself, I'm going to lose my mind. Mm-hmm. If I don't say, no, this is what is real and what's going to happen, I will very much just not be able to handle it. Not knowing, because I already struggle with anxiety of like, how is this going to turn out? Is, this decision going to end up with me being blah, 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 whatever it is, negative or positive.
Okay.
And I think that at that time I had decided for myself, probably still based like in growing up too, knowing that like or being taught that there is an eternity, and that I never struggled with, well, no, because I did struggle with being afraid that I would go to hell because of Left Behind, the series. But I just always knew I was going to be with my loved ones. And I don't think I actually like really was like, my loved ones equal heaven. I think that it was either with my loved ones or without my loved ones. And I always knew, no, I'm going to be with my loved ones. I'm going to be with my sister. I'm going to be with my grandma and grandpa. Like and that's saying like stuff on them as well. That's me believing that wherever I end up, they are. And when we decided, when we were first getting together and like, okay, well, no, I don't want you to go to hell. I don't want me to go, like, and you didn't want me to go to hell. It was, but who says we are besides these people? Why do these people get to dictate where I get to go? What I choose to believe in my own life. And so that's, I think, when we decided to come out, I was like, I can't go that road anymore. there is an eternity for me. There is an eternity. It includes you. It includes my loved ones.
Yeah.
And that's the start and the end of it.
I try to also remind myself that, so if that's almost a bit, if that's what you tell yourself and that helps you sleep at night and that gives you peace so you can live your however many days you have here and be fully present with your loved ones and enjoy life, then I think that is great. And what I think about sometimes is, why is it that it's so difficult for people to just select what they want that gives them the most peace and helps them be the most checked in with their life? And if it's not hurting anyone, with whether it's, we've seen with our families within even Christianity, where what theory is it, or what is it that you believe, what doctrine? And it's like, why can't it just be, this is what we believe? And whether it's a superficial level to some people, or those people aren't real Christians because they only come a couple times a year, and they might be actually have the most genuine relationship with God or whatever. But I think for you, it doesn't hurt anyone if that's and so I think that I need to work more on, I would like to work more on that for myself, which is what I'm doing with opening myself up to different, different perspectives, faiths, and what works for people, because I'm trying to find what would work for me to give me the most peace, because trying to go back to church or what I grew up in is not giving me any kind of peace at all. And I don't think it has to do with my sexuality. I think it has just a lot to do with, I just feel so narrow-minded and closed off. You have to, it's like you have to look at people and judge them and automatic. I guess for me personally, I would automatically, talking to someone, they're not religious or they're not, Christian. If they're not Christian, but maybe they're Jehovah's Witness, so like one of my grandmas, they're going to hell because they're not Christian. They're not the right religion. And I think that really messed me up too, because growing up Catholic, Jehovah's Witness, Christian, it is such a confusing thing to raise a child in. And it's, well, what is the right way? All of them are conflicting in some kind of way. There's a lot of similarities, but then there's a lot of things that are, but wait, the Jehovah's Witness say this about these people. And then I don't understand. So I'm going to Kingdom Hall one day of the week, and then I'm going to Catholic service. That's freaking boring. Different day of the week. And then I'm going to Christian. And it's just, none of that has ever given me peace. And even more so with like, what does it even mean where we're going? So who gets to go to heaven, and who's going to hell, and are they the evil people? Are they, you would hope that really terrible people who've done terrible things are somehow punished, but then I would probably be there with them because I'm gay. So that is hard to reconcile as well too. And I have always been adamant about not seeking out other religions or faith to help me love myself and accept myself as being gay. I think I need to love and accept myself just as I am, and not rely on some other kind of doctrine or teaching to give me that. But it is tricky. I would love to explore that more with you, and then with myself as well too.
Definitely. I think that there was kind of like a break for me where it was, I can't put it into any other words other than, who says that these are the people that get to make the rules? Why do I have to follow their rules for their lives if my life is completely different? And that's where I think existentialism, that theory, comes into play for me, because it's, I'm making the rules for my life, and I know what I need to do in order to feel like a good person, and in order to be able to live with myself. That's, I think, what it's coming down to for me.
And not only live with yourself, but I guess have some hope. Otherwise, getting stuck in that spiral of predestination. Is this a simulation? Is this, because then it's, if it is a simulation, if everything's fake or whatever, then what are we even doing?
Exactly.
And then that's really depressing.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I really like what this definition said about like creating purpose and meaning in our own lives. Because if we don't tell ourselves what is going to make us feel fulfilled, then we end up here where I just think living in the Pacific Northwest is going to give me so much fulfillment, when it's like, okay, it did and it didn't. It just showed me also what else I was missing.
What are you missing?
That's for me to know. I'm just kidding. I think I'm missing the greater purpose in my life. I used to think that like, oh, being a mom is going to be everything for me. And when you're faced with the reality of like, hey, you thought you were going to be a mom at like 18. It's really embarrassing for me to say.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like 19, 20. Like I thought I was going to be a mom so much sooner. And now it's not. And it's like, okay, I was just like filling my life with fillers. And now it's like, okay, well, my purpose is, I would think my purpose is more so like who I am as a person, which is being kind, being very genuine and open to other people, and just being a good person is part of my purpose. And for me to get that, like I have to do internal work on myself, but then also it's not enough to just be a good person for myself. What does that look like in the world? Which then ties into our business.
Right.
And when we first started talking about this, it was, so that way people can, find someone that looks like them or sounds like them, or it was because we weren't seeing ourselves. But then it was, well, but wait, like I don't want it to end with me. I want these people to be able to continue on with other resources, with other people, find their community. So that's where I think, okay, this is part of my purpose. I think purposes can be multifunctional, multifaceted.
I agree.
And it's not I feel like when this is my only goal and this is the only definition of what my purpose is in life, you kind of stop yourself from all the other like blessings in life.
I agree with that. A couple of things in terms of the podcast and our business. I really like to how we do want to eventually, as we have guests, and I say eventually when we just need to be consistent now, but our thing is I don't want us to be stunted. So then if you who are listening are joining us and like you're part of this community and you're on this ride with us, our thing is not to stay where we're at. And why we did this podcast, for one, a big reason was, for the community, our LGBT community, that we felt like we didn't find anyone that was also, Bridge and I are not clubbing. There's a big part of our community that is, I feel I cannot connect with, that is not in the same place as me. I just want to be married and go about my life kind of thing. But we have a lot of work that we need to consistently do because of where we've come from the church and our family being religious. But we also don't want to just be stuck there. And so on this journey too of our self-help, what is our purpose? I feel we're constantly evolving and pushing and wanting to get past whatever. We don't want to be stuck in one specific area of our life. I think that I would like to be more evolved and better than it was 10 years ago. And then 10 years from now, I hope 10 years from now I can come on this, maybe we're still doing this, and say, okay, this is what I believe. Like this, I'm so confident in this, and I'm not suffering through depression the way I am now because there's so much uncertainty. But I do, I don't know. I think there's so much here, and like, I don't want this to be a downer episode, but I feel like it's just a real episode, but it's really, I feel more and more that I need to connect with something for sure. I need to find something that will help me through it. I had a really bad day this week where I was just existential crisis, and it gives me so much anxiety. I get paralyzed with it, and it always hits me at night.
Was it the night you took your medication?
No, it was a couple days before that.
Oh, okay.
And I just happened to look at Bridge, and I was just, Bridge was zoning out the And I was filled with so much love for her. And I was like, oh,
that made you love me?
I do.
This is the face that makes you love me?
Well, I do, because I'm like, oh my God, I get to do this life with you. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, well, where does this life go? Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to cry. I'm not going to cry.
Get it together.
But just having like something to look forward to, mm-hmm. something to believe, something that helps me. Because I feel like I need to constantly be reminded to check back into life. And I don't that is my biggest struggle with. Mm-hmm. I'm always somewhere else. I'm always living somewhere else. And you're right, with us coming up here to Pacific Northwest, it was, it's going to be so much better for us. We're going to love it. This is going to check every box. It checked so many of our boxes, and it still wasn't it. And realizing too that for me, much of what helps me function in the day-to-day is having work that I connect with, mm-hmm. and that I feel is valuable and helps other people. And one of the big things that came out of being up here that I think we've kind of, well, mostly for me, because I think that it was a really big breaking point for me of what I recognized in our relationship was, it's okay for us to approach things differently, and for us to have, I guess what I'm thinking about is when you say that when you wanted to be a mom at 18, okay. Yes. And there was all this time then that you haven't been a mom. Mm-hmm. And so you've been kind of forced to ask yourself, well, what is my purpose then? Because I haven't been a mom this whole time. And you think, okay, well, it can't just be that, like, you know, it could be this business, helping bring, you know, having value, something to help other people. And I think that's always been my thing. So at first I wasn't sure I wanted to be a mom. Now I know I want to be a mom, but even when we have kids, I feel like that's great, but that's not my everything. And maybe it will change. Maybe I'll be like, guys, I was wrong. But I think that I need to have something separate. Yeah. That fills my cup, so then I can be present with our kids, and I just empty it onto them of everything that I have, right? But if you give everything you have, if what gives you value is showing up, being present, and loving our kids, and I get the most value of showing up, being present, loving a community, and there's 10,000 or 2 people, is one more valuable than the other? Mm-hmm. And if your purpose, if you feel so connected, it's ingrained in you that you want to be a mother, is there anything wrong with that? Yeah. And no. I think
yes. No.
But that's what I've been asking myself a lot of because I have such a drive, and I also have ADHD, which I know is contributing to a lot of this as well, of always feeling like it's not enough. I have to do more. I think that has also contributed a lot to our disagreements, us not being on the same page. Because I think, well, why are you not moving in the trajectory that I am at, mm-hmm. and in the same pace that I'm at? Because we have so much that we need to do, and you're like, but I just want to be a mom, and that's why I asked Bridget the other day, babe, are you gonna be okay? Okay, say I find the job, and I'm like I want to do a certain whatever job it is, and it's the job that I connect with, and I want to do it. Are you okay with being a stay-at-home mom?
Like, so genuinely, are you gonna be okay? And I've been asking for this for 12 years.
But because, and it's so important though, I would not be okay with that. Yes. And so I want to make sure that wouldn't
fill your cup.
I would not. Mm-hmm. Okay. And ew, are you a trad wife?
I was like, what are you saying ew to? Is there a bug on this? What's going on?
But it is like, okay, so then we have 2 different.
No, I'm not a trad wife. Continue.
But it's okay. And I'm saying it's okay because I'm saying it to me too, that it's okay that that what you want to contribute and offer, and that you've always wanted to be a mom, and you have always wanted to be a mom to little humans, and you really didn't think anything, like have the same pressure that I put on myself of it needs to be more. It needs to mm-hmm. be a coliseum of people affected by our mm-hmm. good doing, you know?
Weirdo.
But
so you want to be a cult leader? Good thing we started a cult.
No, but it's so, I feel I don't want you to carry this, whatever I have on me, this pressure of, well, what is my purpose and what am I going to do? And is it not just enough that you would be a mother and you would contribute whatever it is that you want to contribute good to humans, and of course to your community, your friends and your family. But I feel like it's not any less than if you get also distracted with what we're trying to do with the business and all that.
So thank you for finally coming around to the fact that we can have two different purposes in
15 years later. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But it does not mean that I'm going to drop you guys as soon as I become a mama. But it's, that's legitimately Brittany's number one fear, is that I'm going to not love her as much.
It's not a real fear. I know you will, but not really.
But, yeah, it's 100% okay that your purpose looks different from mine, because why? I mean, you would ask us to be a clone then. Like, I have to be on the same level as you. That think about the opposite of that, the flip of that, which is your purpose needs to match mine. Mm-hmm. You would not be happy in that. Mm-hmm. I think I would be okay in yours, but I would not be like, I don't think I'd feel absolutely fulfilled in that.
Yeah, I know one of the things that I have to remind myself to be better in, a better person, is because hate my job so much. It's other people, okay?
Very thankful. Job. She just, it's not her field.
I can't do it. I think then that if I'm letting myself go to stay in my job, which is an office job, and and I ask Bridge all the time, so people they just are okay with their jobs, like you're just an admin and that's all you do with your life. But some people are okay with that because they have found value outside of that.
Yes.
I am seeking value in my job, which is not utilizing any of the skills that I feel I have, and it makes me feel dumb. Mm-hmm. And then and that's the sick cycle for me of just, what are we doing here? And they set me here to get this job, not specifically this job, but just that we just sign up for, hey, I guess I'm just going to work 40 hours a week, and April taxes are due, and like this weird thing that we're on, and then maybe you have kids and maybe you buy a house, but you know what? You can't afford a house. So you're going to keep working the 40 hours because you have no really other option. But there is something new. You can start selling your body online.
Stop.
Oh, see, and it's like, but I don't have the body for
it. She needs her hard stops, because if you don't tell her stop, she will continue to travel off into this
spiral.
World. Yeah. I think that it's very easy to get there.
Yes. I'm there all the time.
Yes. See, and I can't do that.
Yeah.
Because if I spiral, who's going to make us dinner?
Maple.
Yeah, no, she don't care about us like that.
She's blending into the bed, huh?
She is, yeah. She's white and her bed is white. Therefore she blends. But that
was deep. That was poetic. She's white and the bed's white. Therefore she blends. That's an Emily Dickinson poem, huh?
Thanks. I try real hard for that. I think it's just, there are things that thoughts that are very big. This is a very big thought for me.
Yes.
And if I don't stop somewhere, it will be a mess in my brain again. And I don't want that.
Yeah.
So I can tell myself, and I'm not gaslighting, brainwash myself. It's not like I don't actually believe this. No, I firmly believe this is what my eternity is going to look like. Mm-hmm. Or at least this is who's going to be there. And then I can stop there. It also brings into play reincarnation, because I 1,000% believe that we've known each other before, and there's just so many things that come into play with reincarnation, but I just want to lightly touch on it. I always think of the episode in Friends where Phoebe tells Joey, because Phoebe is like, back when in the 1800s, I was a blah, blah, blah. And Joey's like, oh my gosh, really? How come I can't remember any past lives? And she's like, oh honey, it's because you're new here. I don't think we're new here. Mm-hmm. I don't know how this plays into anything. People who are smarter than me will tell me otherwise, but I fully believe that in this life and in every other life, we will always find each other, because that's just us. We were tied together. It also, When we watched the Truman Show, it reminded me a lot of 2 different Black Mirror episodes that have like stuck with me. Black Mirror is going to stick with you no matter what episode you watch.
That's why I have not watched it yet.
Yes. I don't know if I've actually shown you these 2, but one is an episode called San Junipero, and the gays love it because there's an actual happy ending.
I have seen that one then.
You did see that one, yes.
That was the one that you said was actually not going to mess with my brain too much.
Yes. Okay. So essentially, San Junipero is a not virtual reality, it's a simulation where people in their time can upload their conscious to this, what did I call it?
Database?
Essentially. A simulated reality. Okay. So in this story, there's these 2 women who started a romantic relationship in San Junipero in 1987. And throughout this whole thing, like one girl is trying to find the other one, and the other one keeps hiding from her because she's like, I don't want to catch feelings. She ends up catching feelings. And in real life, they're both elderly people who visit San Junipero to be younger again, basically. And it's where you can go as an older person or like forever once you're gone. But essentially, one of the girls was paralyzed in a car crash after coming out to her parents, and her parents still had like medical authority or whatever and didn't want her to choose assisted suicide. I think they call it euthanasia in the description. But anyways, she ends up marrying the girl that she finds in San Junipero, and then that girl like authorizes the euthanization and decides that she's going to also spend her eternity there, and that's their happy ending. And I thought, okay, so like,
did I watch all that?
You
that
did.
Sounds really depressing.
It's not as depressing.
And then I got stuck on youth in Asia, like kids in Asia.
A lot of people do that. But like it's lends to that idea for me of a virtual reality, like we're a simulation.
Do you like that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Like, does that give you peace?
No.
Okay.
But you know what does give me peace is the other episode, which is called Hang the DJ. And I know it sounds weird. It's like a
Bridge. We're supposed to
listen.
End on a good note.
It's a good note. Okay? For us, it's a good note. Okay. So essentially, this episode centers around a dating system called The System, which matches partners for based on an algorithm, and it gives them a set time. I don't know if you watched this one with me.
I've only seen one. That gay one is the only one that I've ever seen.
Okay, so then essentially main characters are Frank and Amy. I'll use names so that way it doesn't get... Okay. They are matched together, fall for each other immediately, but they're only allowed 11 hours.
I think you've told me about this one before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after the 11 hours, they go off, they get matched with other people. Nothing really kind of sticks. They kind of just keep thinking about the other person. They're matched again. And this time they tell each other, okay, we're not going to look at the time because we want to just have whatever time we have together. And so they don't look at the timer until Frank decides he needs to know. He can't take it anymore. He needs to know how long they're going to go. And initially they had been given 5 years, but the time immediately changes to 20 hours because Frank's betrayal destabilizes their relationship. His betrayal is that he looked at the time. They had decided we're not going to look at the time this time. They can look at the time, but they as individuals, as a couple, decided we're not going to look at it this time. We're just going to enjoy whatever time we have together.
And then
because
Frank, the clock?
Yeah, because Frank essentially lied to her and said, well, like looked at the time and like without her knowing.
Oh.
It destabilized their relationship. She's betrayed by it. Like, how could you do this without discussing it with me, kind of thing. So then they only have 20 hours. But
oh my gosh, I'd be so pissed at you.
Right? Well, she is. But in this entire time that they're arguing, she's skipping rocks and she's realizing every time she skips one, no matter how big, no matter how hard, it's always 4 skips. And she's like, that's weird. So then they go off their separate ways again after their last hour together. And they end up running into each other at this event where essentially they would be married off. Don't know who, but they're tired of dating people. They're just going to be married off. They didn't know that each other's were going to be at this event. Mm-hmm. In this like seminar or whatever you want to call it, the day before they're going to get married, they run into each other. And she's like, oh my gosh, like she's already starting to question her reality. Like, is this real life? What's going on? Essentially me. And she keeps trying to talk to Frank. Like they keep having little moments together, but nothing can really stick because people keep interfering and like pushing them away from each other.
Okay.
And then she decides one night at dinner, like she meets with him and is like, let's get out of here. I'm done with everything. Let's just run. And the security guard starts approaching her with this taser and like trying to get them to get separated. She touches the taser and everything stops. The world ends. It doesn't end. Just people stop moving and she's like, what the hell just happened?
But she still moves?
Her and Frank are still like, what is going on? Like no one's moving. Nothing's happening in the world. The life is on pause. Okay. So then they're like, okay, let's book it. Let's get out of this building. Let's go jump the fence because their perimeter is blocked by like a huge fence. So they scale the fence and then they fall into this big black room and they're like, what the heck? So then they're looking around and these lights start turning on and then it's revealed that they are one of 1,000 simulated realities for them two. In 998 of these worlds, of these realities, the simulated Frank and Amy rebelled to be together. And in the real world, a dating app assigns Frank to Amy as a 99.8% match. So cut to IRL in real life. They make eye contact for the first time across a bar and then a song is playing and then they continue on. So essentially, it's showing you what's happening in this app.
Oh.
So out of 1,000 couples, they've always ended up together. 1,000 realities, they've always ended up together.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I get it.
That is my positive note for this.
Okay.
In whatever world, in whatever reality, when I don't know what's going on, when I feel overwhelmed with the idea of what is going to happen in the afterlife, I know that I'm always going to find you.
Am I your Frank or Amy?
You can be Amy. She's brown.
Thanks.
But really you're Frank because he's white.
You know how I feel about my color.
Anyways, that's what I feel like that episode really stuck with me. And that's what I keep coming back to. When I think about us, when I get like too overwhelmed, I'm just like, it's going to be okay.
I love that. And I love you.
And if you've never watched the episode, you can rewatch it.
I feel like you told me enough of what I need to know because
it's like when I retold you that book.
That might make me sad. But like a good
this last episode?
Yeah. Because then I start thinking about stuff.
Oh yeah, don't think about it.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that. Was that all?
That is all. That's what I was like tippity tapping away. And I was like, I don't know where this is gonna end up. But that's my brain.
Your brain in an hour.
My brain in an hour.
I love that though. It does leave me more. It
actually is my brain in an hour.
It's more of a positive note for me. Can I share my dream?
Oh, please.
Wait. Two things. Okay, I want to tell our friends. First thing is, you guys, this sweater right here. Oh. Okay. This sweater was my sweater from when I was 11 or 12 years old. I sent you those pictures. I think I'll insert the 11 or 12.
Here.
And I've kept it because it looks very vintage to me. People are watching there probably like, girl, that's a raggedy.
It is a USA Olympics gray sweater. If you can't see the logo.
It's just a regular, but it was just like, I kept in the closet every time we would move too. I'm like, don't get rid of that one. It just, I had sentimental.
You almost got rid of it this last time you did the calling, and I said no.
Yeah, because you were like, well, I like it, just leave it for now. And I said, okay. And it's because it's such an old one. And I do remember it. I was like, oh, all right, well, I'll just leave it. Anyways, yesterday I was like, let's see if it fits. It does fit. So I want everyone to know, listening, that do I think I'm better than you? Yes, but I will kind of be the same person, but slightly better. And I just want you guys to love and accept me as I am, because I'm loving and accepting you as you are. But this 33-year-old fit into a 12-year-old sweater. This is breaking news.
I live with her like this every single day.
I know.
I'm so proud of you, baby.
Thank you.
It looks great too.
The other thing I need to say. Okay, let me go into this now. So I had a dream. It's multiple people here. Okay, on the roster we got Cammie Scott, we got Taryn Arnold. They're YouTubers. I hate to say that they're just YouTubers. They're not just YouTubers.
They have like other hustles.
They're ladies with lesbian tendencies.
They're lesbian ladies online. Lesbian tendencies. They're literally married going through IVF. Tendencies.
Okay, so they were there. So anyways, okay, the stream. I am on. I think you're there. It's just we're not interacting. Okay. I think you are there. You're probably just talking to other people because I feel like you're always with me whenever I'm in sleep or in reality. But we were on a yacht. Okay. And I think it was Cammie and Taryn's wedding, which doesn't really make sense because one, I'm not friends with them. I don't know them. But two, they're already married. So I don't know what this is about. So we're talking. I was actually seated next to Taryn, which is also weird because was I the bride or was Taryn? Because I feel like
you were seated?
Like seated, like on a table.
Oh,
not
okay.
Seated with like
I thought
seeds.
I pictured like during what?
Oh, that's why you got confused.
I pictured during the ceremony. You were sitting down next to Taryn.
We were eating or something. It was like this long table, but I was seated.
So you were
next
like
to
the best woman.
Maybe, but Cammie was across from us.
Yeah, that's fine.
But she should sit next to her wife.
Listen, people have different ideas of what a wedding table looks like.
And Taryn and I were
either
making
way.
fun of people.
It was there. Oh,
so but like in a lighthearted way, in an annoying lighthearted way, the way that I am,
making fun of all of her wedding guests.
Yeah, like just having a good time. Okay. At their expense. Okay. So Cammie was over it, but she was very pleasant. Okay, but you could just tell the way you look at me, actually. And so. Whatever, we were having a grand old time. And then I get up and I went, I don't know, to some part of the boat. And I think some guy was trying to jump me or something. Okay. That just came out of nowhere. But I didn't feel scared. It wasn't like an attack. It was an attack, but I didn't feel it in my dream. You know how you can, like your heart starts racing. You talked the other day in your sleep.
The other day I literally, you know, when you do like the fall thing? When you're...
Oh, like yes. Oh, yes, you did that.
Okay, yeah, no. I like jerked my head back and it actually hurt my neck. I thought, did I just paralyze myself?
I think I felt that. And I remember it. I just looked over at you and I thought...
The judgment.
Okay, anyways. Continue. So I got jumped, right? And you weren't even there. Okay, you're probably...
Why? Because you ditched me for Taryn.
Okay. Well, Taryn wasn't even there either.
Yeah,
okay?
Either way, I still was not sitting next to you.
All right, well, I got jumped. Okay. And I look up and you know how on boats there's like usually 2 decks or something, like if you rent it out for a wedding thing. Sure. So going up the stairs was Jodie Comer, and she heard the rumble of me getting jumped, and she looks and then and she comes back down the stairs, gets a knife, a dagger, okay, and then what is it? Stabs the guy in like his throat.
Oh my gosh.
And then she gets up, she's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, that was weird." But the guy's like dead on the floor. And
that
I was
just
so
like, weird.
Yeah, it was like, oh my gosh, that was so weird. Like, ill guests these days, you know, like who even let him on the boat? And then she cut her hand. Okay. Like it was a small cut. And I was like, "Oh, you're bleeding. Let's go get you a Band-Aid." So then we walk over to some pantry thing that was on the boat. And then we were just talking a little bit, and then I get the Band-Aid. I open the Band-Aid. Okay. I'm literally about to hand to hand with Jodie. If you guys know me, you know I love Jodie. Okay. She's an incredible actress. I just love that woman. Okay. Right when I'm about to make contact, I am jolted from my sleep by the sound of Winifred throwing up in her little room. Okay. Winnie is our little gray dog.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why she threw up last night. Okay. Well, it was actually 7:00 in the morning.
You know the sounds. Yeah.
Yeah. And I got up and because I heard it because Bridge.
I told her.
I don't know why Bridge does not wake up for things. I hope that if I ever really need you, you will hear. Actually, yeah, it's true.
I do hear you.
When I fell down the stairs one time, Bridge did wake up.
That was terrible.
That was really bad. And when I got up, to go open up Winnie's door, and I thought to myself, I was literally about to palm with Jodie Comer, and you got to throw up right now. And
okay,
it was. And then now looking about it, like when I was thinking about the dream after, and I wrote it down because I was like, oh, I want to tell my wife about it. I thought,
like furiously scribbling, can't even see.
I really was, yeah. But I thought, okay, it's a little bit of like killing Eve and a couple different things.
Like that entire boat scene.
But not really, because then I'm picking up, but I don't want to spoil it. No one's seen Killing Eve.
It's been how many years since Killing Eve has been out?
We barely watched it last year.
Listen, if you haven't watched, and I wouldn't blame anyone from spoiling it for me.
Okay. That
Learn
one lady,
to take responsibility.
The one lady. So there's the scene where she kills, when she kills, I think she stabs, where does she stab? Somewhere right here, I think. The throat. I forget her name. She was trying to be sexy. She was the main person that was like, spoke with all sexy voice, and Helen.
Oh, Helene.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Like that, and then the boat at the very end.
Okay. Yes, you're mixing. Yeah.
Okay. And I thought, what the hell was that? I never dream of Jody, ever, and I have that interesting kind of dream, and then my dog wakes me up and ruins it all.
That's pretty bad.
But I do love Freddie, so it's fine. But
I told you this morning, I could not, I don't even know how I turned on the light. I don't know.
You do have, it's fine. I'll be that mom that can get, because I could sleep through a lot of things, but anything that's jolty, that's out of the ordinary, like when you have to get up to go take a shower.
Listen, she did wake me up though. I did wake up. I think it was just a little bit after you, because you were scrambling out of bed while I was slamming the light on.
You were slamming the light
I
on.
was like, I don't know how I turned it on. It was my nightstand light.
Nightlight? Nightlight.
No, because it's not a nightlight.
I think nightlights cannot be plug-in nightlights.
At night.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
You're someone who interprets dreams. Can you interpret that dream for me?
It's, okay, let me think. Let me think really.
For real, okay? Because there's a lot on the line here. I just need to know. I need answers.
You know,
I better check those eyebrows.
I think it's a lot of you watching a lot of Cammie and Taryn.
I don't even watch that much of them.
But like, you're constantly talking about them.
You
are about to choke on your lies.
You lie. I tell you one time when I'm watching them, and all of a sudden it's my identity.
Oh my god!
I do like them though. I wouldn't mind being friends with them.
Okay, so I think that just in general,
yes,
it's very theatrical, which means that you are looking for that kind of oomph in your life.
Oh, that's true.
You're looking for some kind of excitement.
I am.
Some kind of adventure, some danger.
Yeah, but I don't want to get jumped. I'll just say that right.
Or stabbed. But you do want to be saved by Jody.
Yes. Jody is my savior.
I'm moving on up.
We have to put that little thing there. Do you know? That's too much for you, huh? We're not there yet in the editing.
There. Okay. I don't know about this episode, but I'll get there. But okay, that's what I think it is. I think you're needing some kind of like excitement, some kind of thrill in your life right now. There's a lot going on that's kind of bogging you down. And then 2, Jody is a major inspiration, as well as someone that you would love to connect with later on in life.
Thank you. That's deep. That's beautiful.
Yeah, you're looking for her to save you.
That's beautiful, Bridge.
She's going here.
Ding.
As the title page thing. Yes.
Do you have Rex?
I have very little.
I have a few too.
Okay. So rec wise, I've been feeling very overwhelmed and very just like there's too much going on in life right now. And so I've not been able to actually do anything after work because I've just been editing and doing worky stuff.
We appreciate you.
Yes. I love doing it. It's just, I feel like that leaves me with nothing to bring.
I know. It won't always be like that.
Exactly. So we've made some adjustments and we're going to see how it goes. So my promise to you guys is that I'm going to finish the book that I recommended last week, which was One for My Enemies by Olivia Blake, and let you guys know how I like it. But my Rex this week, a cheapie item.
I was like, what are you
This is a big ass hair tie.
Yeah.
Why? Because I bought big ones that were about this big. Okay. They were thick. They were wonderful. They only wrapped twice around my hair, which then left it with not enough tightness. This bad boy, I don't know if you guys can see my hair.
We get it. You have long, luscious hair. Ding.
It is long hair, and it's very thick and it's a lot. Okay, so this bad boy will wrap 3 times and feel very secure, very tight.
Well, where can the people find that?
Target. I think it's that brand Goody.
And they're meant for hair, right? Okay.
What else are they going to be meant for?
Honestly, I don't know. It's very big.
I can see your face through it.
It's like, a pretty big one.
It is really big.
Yeah.
But it's like $3 for a pack of like 8 of them, I think. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's
going to be much too big for me.
I just pictured you.
Like, it would have to be wrapped 5 times.
Yeah. And then I have a bit of a spendy ones.
Oh, okay.
Your girl loves Le Labo.
We get it.
They are a perfume company and they're very expensive, but I've worn another 13 by them for the past like 3 years. Mm-hmm. And every time I wear it, my family's like, where can I buy this?
Everyone says that to you though.
Yeah.
Whenever you
I
go.
always get complimented on that. And Brittany was getting her hair done. There was a Le Labo nearby. I was like, let's go into here. So we go in and I'm like, this girl that we had met like a couple, maybe 4 or 5 months earlier, told me try the matcha scent from them. And I was like, okay. So I go in, try it, smell it. And I'm like, I love this scent. I need it in my life. Purchased it. I love it. I love that smell.
She dragged me to this store on the premise that it's for me. And
was it not for you?
Okay. Yes, a little bit. But
why?
I've been wanting this Santal.
I think it's just Santal
33, I thought. Maybe not. Santal.
I
don't know, but I've been putting it off because I get overwhelmed with a lot of things. So I like just one thing.
Oh, it is Santal 33.
And Bridge is not like me. She's the opposite. She wants
She
options.
is minimalism. I have not fully maximalism, but it is.
But it's getting there, guys. Help me.
No, it's not.
So she's like, you wanted to come here. I wanted to surprise you. Blah blah blah.
Blah blah.
And we're in there. And what is she doing with that nose? She's sniffing. Can you believe her? She's sniffing all the scents. And I already know. She's going to want one. So we did the
little mini travel ones. There's 3 of them.
They're not refillable. I mean, it is a little expensive. But she walked out with
forever.
2 cents for her. And me...
Lies upon lies upon lies. You're just full of it.
How's that a lie? How's that a lie?
Because
one of them was mine.
Yeah, and another 13 you were wanting as well.
I don't want that one. I don't want to smell like you. I want that smell to be the smell of my wife.
Lies. That is not what you told me last time when we were in Nordstrom.
Oh my God. I pray.
I pray. Because this one, you're not getting me to back down. I'm almost certain.
You wag all you want.
You wag. Listen, move on.
Okay.
Oh, my last one is very cheap. Shop in your own closet. We're packing to go away and... Sorry, guys. Yes. I have bought like a new wardrobe that is getting returned because my clothes already work.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Are you choking?
Are you choking?
Listen, we got to wrap this up. We're past an hour.
Okay. These people need to hear this. Okay. Bridge, I've been telling her every time we go. So we're going to go to New York in a couple weeks. She needs a new thing for everything. Okay. So I'm going to go. I need some new jeans. I'm a supportive wife over here. Okay.
Except when you tell me I look like my dad.
She wears the barrel jeans. Okay. And I am like, I'm just going to see what's in my closet. Bridge will buy stuff and I'm like, you know what? It's fine. I'm going to make whatever works in my closet. And then Bridge, last night randomly, I don't know, you started packing for New York even though it's like a month away.
I raised from the dead because I had
a migraine,
a sinus migraine and I took something. I had to wait until you were able to drive because I was like, I'm not risking taking a Zyrtec while driving.
Okay. Yeah.
So I came home. I was laid out with the heating pad on my face. And then maybe 20 minutes later, I said, I'm awake.
Yeah. And then she starts getting stuff from the closet. She said, I actually have all these clothes. They're so cute. Look at this. And really great outfits. I'm like, you see what happens? You see what happens when you're forced to actually look in your closet and look what you have? But this is her recommendation.
You know what this is?
What?
That's where I'm at.
You did that.
I did that. And I rolled my eyes.
We do it differently.
Yeah. Remember? I go, and you say.
Okay. My Rex,
what are your Rex?
Real quick. One, Brittany Broski.
Oh my God, yeah. Hold on.
What? First of all,
hold on.
If you didn't recommend it, that's your fault.
So, okay, I see. Let the people see. Let the people see.
Okay. I don't really know much about Brittany. I know she's kombucha girl, but that's about it. Bridge showed me that video like last year, and I thought it was really funny. I've seen a couple of her videos from her main channel. I like what I've seen, but I just don't watch. I really don't know anything about her, to be honest. But Bridge did send me she started a music channel, and she came out with a cover, Harry Styles cover. Adore You. Bridge sent it to me, and I was like, oh, she sings again, because I don't know anything about her. I'm sure she's mentioned it if you're a fan. It's actually really good.
Yeah, I made the kombucha face when I watched it at first. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm like, oh, okay, then I'm really happy for her. So that's actually, if you know her, just check her out, because I think, oh, she actually has some serious talent, but she's been in a different
category.
Yeah. So happy for her. After I watched that video, this one, and it's an older video, so I'm sure a lot of people have seen it if they're a Billie Eilish fan, but Wildflower started playing. It's the live performance on Amazon Music's Songline. The harmonies were so beautiful.
You have to show me.
It's three girls that are harmonizing with her. They're in a studio. It's live. Phineas is playing guitar.
Is she wearing glasses? Glasses?
Yes. I think you've seen a different one.
Yeah.
Because she does a couple covers.
Okay.
Well, not covers. She does a couple of her acoustics. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've never heard this song before, and then I haven't heard this. Obviously, this. So okay. I feel like I love this one so much. It'd be hard for me not to hear the studio version. But it was so nice, and I liked it a lot because no one harmonizes like Billy and Phineas. They are it's so beautiful. Phineas, his harmony, I think of it a lot of the way you harmonize. Okay. That I love how you harmonize with all kinds of music that we listen to, especially when you go in your low range, because I always miss the low, you know? And in this one, her backup vocals, they're doing a lot of low harmonies, but different. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful song. So we'll listen to it after. Okay. I think you would like it. Yeah. Last rec. I know it's a splurge. Don't judge me. But sometimes you got to do online grocery shopping, and you got to do online Costco. Look it's costing us $20 this week. But this week has been a really hard week. We just didn't have the energy to go shopping for an hour. It's bougie. It's whatever, privilege, all these different things. I'm just saying, if you are feeling like I can't even do it, one more thing on my plate, sometimes that's our self-care. That's our taking care of ourselves. So I recommend it. That's what I'm trying to get Bridge to let me do as much online shopping as possible. Like when there's a
problem is I like to go into stores.
Yeah, but also taking advantage of if it's free pickup within, I don't know, however many hours, different places. But I hate going shopping. I love the market. I just feel there's a lot going on for us right now. So it's one more thing on our plate. Yes. And if we can't do it, and if we can afford to it saves us some time, we're gonna do it. Yeah. So that's my rec. That's all I got this week, babe. Oh wait, I wanted to show, because last week I mentioned it. This is the size of my journal, guys. Because I told you it's really small, and it is really small.
Hold it up a little bit more. Yeah. Show them the side. Yes. It's a 2-page a day.
Yeah, it is a 2-page a day. But you don't have to you can just do a single page. Bridget's is the same size.
It's a single page.
Yeah. So I love it so much. Yeah. And keep journaling. Bridget's behind. But we're not going to talk about that.
We're still not going to talk about that.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, check us out. We have a website. We have an online shop of goodies that I actually put out here, because we never really talk about our stuff too much. We don't know how to market ourselves. So, hey. The one that's like flying off the racks.
I think there's only a couple
shelves. It's online. This one, really, when we say there's only a couple left, it's really like 7 left. People seem to love this one. It's one that I actually was the most self-conscious of, because I'm like, ooh,
it's a little vulgar.
It is a little vulgar, but people really love this one, and I'm happy with how it turned out. I love all the prints. This one, Sisters Don't Do What We Do, is because we kept getting asked if we're sisters, and it was by weird men at markets usually.
Weird older men.
Why does it why do you want my 23andMe, freak?
And then there's, I don't know if you guys might be able to see it from this angle, but then only the colorful stand out. That one's, I really like that one.
Maybe there's stickers by you behind your laptop. We have some greeting cards. We have a lot of greeting cards actually, but a lot of LGBT, but it could be for anyone really. There's a few that are.
Your brother got some for like
for his friends. Check.
Ooh.
Okay, well, I'm not bending over.
You might fall out.
Little enamel pins. This one actually isn't on the.
It's
shop
not.
yet,
Yeah.
So I'll have to put that up. Guys, thank you for supporting us. You support us by listening to us, by joining the community, by talking with us. Follow us. Leave a comment. Say hi. We're here, and I
do have one request. Yes. If anyone has any tips on making reels out of these videos, please message me, because I am kind of just losing my brain.
Okay, I will also deep dive into that and see if I can take that off your plate.
Okay.
All right, guys. Have a good week. We will be back next week, and we will be back on Thursday. Sorry, this last week was just crazy, but we should be on Thursdays.
It was Thursday.
Yeah. Anyways, have a good week, guys. Bye.
Love you. Bye. You do your word first, and then I'll do my word.
You need a minute to catch up, warm up. Let's release what we have.